Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's video on my YouTube series talking about Malaysian properties in Johor Bahru as well as retirement in Johor Bahru as well. And today we're going to talk about the status of JB property launches as of November 2024. And as some of you may know, actually Johor Bahru projects are selling very well right now. I mean, a very big contrast from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, where JB properties were like nobody want to touch Johor Bahru properties. But now there's very strong interest in JB properties throughout, and I'm going to share with you what's going on, what's going to happen, right, in 2025, and what is leading up to it. So as I mentioned earlier, projects are selling pretty fast. I mean, if you look at the example of RNF Princess Cove, which is a project I prefer the most, I talk about the most. It's also where my company Good Life Real Estate is based. RNF Princess Cove has sold, I think easily we hit the 90% range right now. I mean, the balance units, there are some balance units, but a lot of these are from one block that the developer has only partially released, and some of the Bhumiputra release units, and some balance units here and there, cancelled units, etc. So actually, if you want to buy RNF, there's not a lot of unit selection, only limited choices available, but yeah, if you're serious, you shouldn't wait and come and look at RNF. Now there's still a chance to buy something pretty decent. It's still the best buy out there in my opinion, right? And other projects around RTS like Quayside JBCC, Coronate Residences also pretty much sold almost everything, left some balance units here and there. Maybe something will appear if a buyer cancels or cannot get loan. So the lack of stock actually has caused prices to go up. So now in general, anything near RTS right now is about 1,300 ringgit per square foot, 1,003 PSF, as high as 2,000, right? Some projects are selling quite high, 2,000 per square foot, thereabouts, right? But I mean, in general, 1,003 PSF, maybe on the lower end, you can get something around 1,000 or just below 1,000 if you are lucky or able to bargain hunt very well. So, I mean, this phenomenon not only happens in JB City Center, I mean, throughout whole of JB right now, a lot of developers are having quite good success with their project launches. I give you some examples, right? Sunway Iskandar launched their first batch ever of freehold landed in Sunway Iskandar. As if you know Sunway Iskandar, actually the area is all leasehold. They have never had a freehold launch before, so they just launched their first batch of freehold landed, fully sold, at least in the first phase. Right, the queues at Leisure Farm, I also talked about this project earlier, also pretty much fully booked. Phase 1, now we are waiting on phase 2. Avira Medini, which is a landed project in Medini, I talked about maybe last year, early this year or last year. I think we are down to the last 2, 3 units. These are also those cancelled buyers who cannot get loan, right? Sunrise also just started selling some landed in Gebang Nusajaya. These are more affordable units targeted at local buyers. Very long queues because the prices were quite affordable. Sunrise has one benefit that as a master developer, their land price is quite low, right? So they can sell at a lower land price and thereafter, of course, a cheaper product. So they also have did pretty well. And of course, if you look at Maha Builder, SKS, they have also sold pretty well their projects in MBW City and MBW Bay. I think the mostly sold only left the Bumi lots, which they are waiting for conversion, and probably some of the bigger sizes. Right. So to put it simply, I mean developer sales are pretty good right now as of November this year. Inventory is low and selling at a pretty decent rate lah. I won't say super fast, but okay lah. I mean, as a developer, in most cases, they're quite happy at the rate that they are selling. Our rental performance is also pretty good. Like in RNF right now, we have still been able to defend our rents so far, despite all the new supply coming in from phase 2. You can take a look at my earlier video where I spoke to my partner Benjamin about this topic. So we can still rent pretty well. Most units which are empty can be rented out at a fairly decent rate. Normally, it should not take you more than 1 to 2 months to rent out a unit in JB right now, and prices are quite decent. In some cases, you can push up the rent. In some cases, rental, at least you can defend, is pretty good already. And rents are definitely better than, of course, 1, 2 years ago lah. Okay. The good thing is because why is there all this buying? I think there are a couple of reasons. I think number one is high property prices in Singapore, right? Singapore prices in for property are still pretty high, right? Like the HDB market in Singapore is still pretty hot, right? So this will push up prices. And then if you know Singapore, this week in November, there are a lot of new condo launches in Singapore. And if these six, and there are six of them, I don't know if you read the news, six condo launches in Singapore, I think I don't want to say all the Emerald Katong, Chuan Park, Novo Place, and the one in Sophia, right? So all these 6 launches, right, if they do pretty well by November, right, they can sell a majority of units, which I think a lot of them will do well, right? It will signal that the Singapore property market is like back lah, because Singapore property market was a bit weak for most of 2024 so far. But I think if these launches do well, Singapore prices will remain very strong, and people will have this thing, wow, Singapore price very high, confidence will be there, and some of this will spill over into JB lah. So the other thing is that, so I mean, in that sense, JB also has a lot of economic recovery. Not just JB but also Malaysia in general. I think GDP numbers for Malaysia, economic numbers for Malaysia have been pretty good so far, right? So and that has helped to push the JB economy overall, and also JB also a lot of not much supply, right? Because of the property downturn in JB for the past few years, actually there's been a lot of less supply. Many developers don't dare to build. So in that sense, the low supply situation has created this new cycle where suddenly we don't have enough supply, right? And all these launches are coming. So the JB market will still be strong. In case you're wondering, Ryan, how long will this last? Will the JB property market collapse next year or go down next year? I don't think so, right? I know there are a lot of people out there, or haters or naysayers, thinking that, oh, JB market, this is only temporary. JB market will suffer soon because JB traditionally has a bad performance. I beg to differ, and I want to show you why this will continue at least for a few more years, or at least I have an opinion that JB is at the start of a new property cycle, and this will go all the way until 2027, 2028 at the least, right? It will be for quite some time, this cycle push, right? A couple of reasons, like I said earlier. Number one, Singapore property price quite high, so a lot of people in Singapore find that it's very expensive to buy in Singapore, and they will look at alternatives. Number two is right now we are looking at interest rate cuts in the US, and that will spur the property market in general. Part of it right now is dependent also on the US general election. So when elections are, I think it's these few days, I think once the results are out, I think you will see some more stability, some more clarity on the interest rate cuts in the US. This will help the property market overall in Malaysia as well as Singapore, right? We are also waiting for the announcement of the Johor Singapore Special Economic Zone, which will be due November this month, if not next month, right? They are trying to get it done by the end of the year. Both governments are working a lot to try and set the dates and what they can announce in it. High-speed rail, the return of the high-speed rail. I talked about this in earlier videos. I will not elaborate too much here. But high-speed rail also pending some major announcement before the end of the year. And of course, every month or every week, we get new videos by various YouTubers and other observers on the progress of the RTS, the Rapid Transit System. And as the RTS gets built, more and more construction progress appears in the videos or in the news, right? People also get confidence to buy JB higher and higher, because RTS is one of the biggest reasons why people are buying JB right now. So this has given a lot of developers confidence, right, to prepare their launches right now, and a lot of projects are in the process of being worked out. So actually, for those of you who are looking to buy JB in 2025, cannot find anything you want to buy, there will be a plethora of choices for you by next year. A lot of projects are going for approval right now. I think the earliest we will get is in December, maybe January, but I think by half one next year, you will easily have a few more choices to buy. So first off the bat, we have RNF Princess Cove Phase 3, right? You guys have heard me talk about Phase 2 quite a lot, so now it's Phase 3. We know that right now they're working on the show flats. The show flats are under renovation right now in RNF Sales Gallery, so we'll probably see more of this December, maybe early next year, together with the approvals, right? There's also Tropicana, which has a major project called Sky Park Kepler at the Lido, which is along Danga Bay basically. And they just did their groundbreaking ceremony yesterday. They have already appointed the main contractor, so I think that project is pretty confirmed going on. They also have a very major tie-up with Banyan Group, so I think it's interesting to see a Banyan Tree property in JB, which I think is quite interesting. Banyan Tree coming to JB with a Tropicana. Astaka, the developer Astaka also has another project, so-called Phase 2. I think they're calling it the Arden, in front of Astaka, right? This will be at One Bukit Senyum, so it'll probably be the Arden at One Bukit Senyum. They're also pending their approvals. Sales Gallery also under construction right now. There are a couple of small projects also under approval status right in front of RNF. But these are quite boutique projects, fairly small, maybe 600-700 units kind of sizes. but there's a cluster there, right? If you guys know what I'm talking about. So some of those land there will be some small upcoming projects as well. The good news is that they will be walking distance to RTS, so maybe worth to look at, but not much details available right now. We'll probably know next year. Exim, if you guys know Exim, Exim is a very big developer from KL. They are fairly famous in KL, quite good track record in KL so far. So Exim is finally coming to Johor Bahru, and they'll be launching a first project in Kebun Teh, but unfortunately that is leasehold, and Kebun Teh is not exactly near RTS. It's still some distance away. But it'll be interesting to see Exim here, because Exim has very nice products in KL. I like it very much. So they already just, I think, just completed their new sales gallery in JB. So we hope to see more of Exim soon, right? Maha Builder, the Maha Builder machine, SKS Group will keep on going. I think they still have further blocks to launch. Paragon Group, right, the developer for Paragon Residences, Paragon Gateway. I think they're also planning one more coming up in the Lido Danga Bay area. We will see also a lot of landed projects in the suburbs coming up soon, right? Again, by Sunrise and other various developers. Most of these are targeting local buyers, right? With a couple maybe targeting more high-end landed pricing. But all in all, 2025 will be a quite interesting project launch here. That will keep all the developers and agents busy, right? As we try and sift through all these projects and decide which one are the best buys, which ones are worth marketing to the buyers out there. So yeah, environment's quite positive right now. I mean, as I mentioned, the supply demand balance is quite healthy right now, and a lot of this supply coming up will not be ready until 2027, 2028. So I mean, the market will be quite strong right now, right? Of course, we have to be careful of overbuilding. We don't want a repeat of the last property cycle. I think the government probably has to pay more attention to whether what kind of projects they should approve and what kind of projects they should not. But yeah, right now we're still too early to say that, right? So what should you buy? Should you buy or should you wait? I think my opinion is, if you can afford to buy now, and you should buy RNF Princess Co Phase 2. I mean, it's still by far the best investable product in JB right now, and I think it's still you can buy a completed product, get rental today, right? And you can see the actual thing that you're buying, right? And so I think that's why RNF Phase 2 is still preferred. If you for some reason you can wait 4-5 years for construction, and you want to look at other products, right, then yeah, you can wait for maybe end of this year, early next year, when all these other projects come out. But you do have to wait 4-5 years, right? And then that's the thing. And by then RTS will be completed, right? And things may change 4-5 years down the road. So I mean, my personal opinion, if you can buy RNF Phase 2, is still the best buy to buy right now. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I hope you guys get excited by that discussion. I mean, if you are interested to buy something in JB right now, keep your options open, keep your powder dry, right? Or buy RNF Phase 2 right now, right? I'm at RNF most weekdays in JB. More than happy to show you if you're keen to take a look at RNF Princess Cove and understand more the landscape in JB right now. We are quite busy in November because we have some tours and some group things to planning for buyers. We have also quite a lot of individual buyers lined up, because I think the school holidays are coming, so people have more time to take leave and travel to JB to find out more. And it's also a very exciting part of the news cycle, as I mentioned earlier, because of the Johor Special Economic Zone with Singapore, as well as high-speed rail announcements coming soon. So thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box below. More than happy to answer your comments or questions, or feel free to WhatsApp me, and my number's there in the description below. And if you like our content, do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will find some of the earliest, fastest informations on the Johor Bahru property market here through me, right? I will share them as soon as I can and try to give you some insider tips, right? Thank you very much, and bye-bye.